So I have an analogy I wanted to share that I think can be really helpful for people when dealing with health issues. Um, I like to think of your body as a bank account, like you have a body bank account. And so when you're born, the health of your mother during her pregnancy and your genetics play a huge role in how much health reserves you have stored up, right, when you're born. And then as you go through life, you make withdrawals on that without replenishing them with deposits. And the withdrawals are things like physical injuries, emotional stress, chemical stress, um, toxins, poor food choices, right? Eating the standard American diet, processed foods, um, parasites, infections, pathogens, rounds of food poisoning, all of these things are making withdrawals on those reserves. And if you're not making any deposits, you eventually will hit zero. And once you hit zero, then the symptoms are going to start. And when you go negative, you're going to start getting into your chronic illnesses. So, the goal is to stop the withdrawals, or at least you can't stop them completely, but to minimize the withdrawals and to add deposits. Now, the deposits are things like taking the right supplements for your body type. You can find that out through testing, eating clean, whole, nutritious foods, well-sourced meats, doing mindset work, because that is also a critical part of healing, that making huge deposits into your body when you're doing some mindset work, spiritual growth, repairing your detox pathways, removing those parasites, pathogens, protozoas. Those are all things that just give you the deposits that bring those reserves up. And now the goal clearly isn't to just get above zero. You want to build those reserves up so that when those withdrawals come in, you're not going to go back to zero and get back to those symptoms. So when people come to me, um, they're very sick often, and a lot of them are in the zero or below zero. They're in debt, right? And so we need to start working to make those deposits. Oftentimes people will think it's, they'll think of that one last thing, that one last withdrawal that they did, and they attribute that to all of their issues. Well, that round of food poisoning, and I was that way too. That's what sent me, and I had a round of food poisoning that was the end of me, what I felt like was the end of me. And I blamed it on that one round of food poisoning, but really, it was the multiple withdrawals that I had been making throughout my life without even knowing it, right? Without working on any of the deposits and trying to be healthy. Because if I didn't have symptoms, I felt like I was fine. Oh, the processed food isn't hurting me. I'm not having any symptoms, right? But it was a withdrawal, and it was a withdrawal, and it was a withdrawal. And so what I do is I work with my clients to work on just getting those reserves up and to rebuild, rebalance. We do the tests, we see what your body needs, and we get those levels back up so that you don't hit zero balance.